the United States has deployed A-10 Thunderbolt II aircraft to operate alongside U.S. Navy ships in the Arabian Gulf near Iranian waters, and this move is definitely not random. This isn't just a routine patrol or some low-key training flight. These Warthogs were seen flying protective missions over the USS Santa Barbara, a littoral combat ship specifically configured for mine countermeasure operations. And when you look at the location, the Strait of Hormuz, you quickly realize this is serious business. This narrow stretch of water is one of the most strategically important maritime choke points in the world, and anything that happens there can send shockwaves across the global economy. Roughly 20% of the world's oil supply moves through the Strait of Hormuz every single day. Tankers packed with crude oil and liquefied natural gas pass through non-stop. If that flow gets disrupted, even briefly, global markets react almost instantly. Oil prices spike. Shipping insurance costs jump. Governments start paying very close attention. So when the United States positions specialized aircraft in that region, it's not just for show. It's about maintaining stability in a place where things can get tense fast. Now, here's where people start asking questions. Why the A-10? This aircraft was built in the 1970s for close air support over land battlefields. It was designed to protect troops and destroy armored vehicles. It's not stealthy. It's not the newest thing in the sky. So why bring a Warthog into a maritime security mission near Iran? At first glance, it might seem unexpected. But when you look at the threat environment in the Gulf, the logic starts to click. Iran's naval doctrine doesn't revolve around building a fleet to match the United States ship for ship. Instead, it focuses heavily on asymmetric tactics. That means using speed, maneuverability, and unconventional approaches to create complex situations. One of the key elements of that approach involves small, fast attack boats that can operate in groups. These vessels can move quickly in shallow coastal waters and close distance in a matter of minutes. In a narrow and crowded environment like the Strait of Hormuz, that's a serious factor. Large warships are incredibly capable. They carry advanced radar systems, missile defenses, and layered protection. But chasing multiple small craft, weaving through civilian shipping lanes, isn't exactly their ideal mission. In tight waters, reaction time becomes critical. And that's where the A-10 steps into the picture in a very practical way. The Warthog was built to loiter. It doesn't just fly through an area and disappear. It hangs around, it watches, it maintains presence. The ability to stay overhead for extended periods is a major advantage in the Gulf. High-speed fighter jets can arrive quickly, but they also burn fuel quickly. They pass overhead and move on. The A-10 operates differently. It can circle an area and maintain visual awareness. In waters filled with fishing boats, tankers, patrol craft, and commercial traffic, visual identification matters more than people might think. Pilots flying lower and slower can observe patterns of movement and spot behavior that stands out. The USS Santa Barbara's mission adds another layer to this story. As a littoral combat ship configured for mine countermeasures, it is tasked with detecting and neutralizing naval mines. Mines might sound like old-school weapons, but they remain one of the most cost-effective ways to disrupt shipping. Even a small number placed in a key transit lane could halt traffic until cleared. That alone could send global energy markets into overdrive. Mine countermeasure operations are careful and methodical. The ship moves slowly. It deploys unmanned systems. It scans the seabed. During that process, its attention is focused downward. That creates a window of vulnerability, not because the ship lacks defenses, but because its mission requires concentration on underwater threats. If small craft were to approach quickly or maneuver aggressively, response time becomes important. Having an A-10 overhead extends the security bubble. It increases situational awareness beyond the ship's immediate horizon. Sometimes just the presence of airborne overwatch can influence decisions before situations escalate. The A-10 is famous for its 30mm GAU-8 Avenger cannon, but it also carries precision-guided munitions and advanced targeting systems. That flexibility gives commanders scalable options. It's not simply about raw firepower. It's about being prepared with multiple response levels while maintaining control over escalation. In tense waters, proportional response capability matters. The aircraft's relatively lower operating cost compared to stealth fighters also makes it practical for persistent overwatch missions where endurance is more important than invisibility. Zooming out, this deployment is part of a broader naval presence in the region. Multiple U.S. Navy ships operate near Iranian waters, including destroyers, support vessels, and carrier strike group elements. Reinforcements rotate through regularly. The Strait of Hormuz remains a global pressure point, and both military planners and energy markets monitor it closely. There have been past encounters involving high-speed approaches and tense maneuvering. In crowded maritime corridors, small incidents can escalate if misread. Layered defense is the concept tying all of this together. The littoral combat ship has its own defensive systems, including a deck gun, point defense, missiles, helicopters, and unmanned platforms. But an aircraft overhead adds another layer. It extends awareness. It strengthens coordination between services. It demonstrates that air and naval forces are integrated and ready. In a region where minutes matter, that layered approach reduces uncertainty. The A-10 has faced retirement debates for years, with discussions about whether newer aircraft can take over its missions. Yet deployments like this highlight how specialized platforms still fill important roles. Modern military headlines often focus on stealth technology and next-generation systems. Those capabilities are significant, but not every scenario requires the most advanced aircraft in the inventory. Sometimes the right tool is the one that can stay on station, monitor the situation, and respond quickly if needed. In the Strait of Hormuz, visibility can be just as important as speed. Deterrence is not always about aggressive posture. Often, it's about making sure potential actors know they are being watched. An A-10 circling overhead sends that message clearly. It communicates readiness without necessarily signaling escalation. It reinforces stability in a region where economic consequences of disruption would be immediate and global. Ultimately, the deployment of A-10 aircraft alongside mine countermeasure ships reflects preparation for asymmetric challenges in one of the world's most sensitive waterways. It demonstrates integration between branches of the military and a focus on maintaining freedom of navigation. Even an aircraft designed decades ago can remain relevant when its core strengths align with the mission. In the narrow waters of the Strait of Hormuz, where traffic is dense and stakes are high, sustained presence and layered defense may be exactly what the situation demands.